Now, next basis is on the basis of your chemical composition. You all know that first we visit the field, we notice the geological setting of igneous rocks, we collect samples, we study in hand specimen, then in thin section, then under microscope, mineral composition, and ultimately we go for the chemical analysis of the rocks. So a rock is chemically analyzed in terms of your major oxides as well as your trace elements. And the major oxides are SiO2, Al2O3, Fe2O3, FeO, CaO, Na2O, K2O, MgO, P2O5, right? So the most dominant oxide which is present in the rocks is your SiO2. So on that chemical composition, there are different bases of chemical composition. On the first chemical, that silica is the most, I told you, dominant. So on the basis of the silica content, igneous rocks, they are divided into your 4 categories. Silicic acid means rocks having SiO2 content more than 66%. Naturally, once a rock has silica content more than 66%, it has quartz as an essential mineral. Your granite, granodiorite, as far as chemical composition is concerned, silica will be more than 66%, but mineralogically if you talk, it will have quartz as an essential mineral. The second is your intermediate rocks, that which have chemical composition of SiO2 from 50 to 66%. Intermediate rocks, you get your diorite, cyanite, right, and their volcanic equivalents. The third category is basic rocks. They have silica content from 45 to 52%, and the commonest are your the rock basalt, we call it also the basaltic composition. Then its plutonic equivalent gabbro, right, dolerite, hypobasal. These rocks, they are in the category of the basic rocks. So once we say basic igneous rock, it means that rock has silica content from 45 to 52%. And the fourth category is your ultra basic, means rocks having silica content less than 45%. That rocks are called the ultra basic rocks. The common example are your nepheline cyanide. Then your alkaline mafic rocks, they all come in ultra basic, means the silica content, the character of those rocks, when we will chemically analyze these rocks, they have silica content less than 45%. So overall saying, on the basis of silica content, igneous rocks are grouped or classified into 4 categories. First, silicic or acid igneous rocks having silica content more than 66%. Second, intermediate having silica content from 50 to 66%. Third, basic 45 to 52% silica. And fourth is your ultra basic less than 45% silica. This is on the basis of the silica content. The next base of classification is rock on the saturation principle of Shand and Holmes. Shand and Holmes divided our rock forming minerals into 2 categories, that is your saturated minerals and unsaturated minerals. Saturated minerals are those which are capable of existing in presence of free silica. For example, feldspars, they are found with quartz in the nature, so they are called saturated minerals. Whereas unsaturated minerals, they are incapable of existing in presence of free silica or quartz. For example, your nepheline. Nepheline never occurs as an essential mineral in a rock with quartz. Same way, your olivine is never found with quartz as an essential mineral. So these minerals, nepheline, olivine, they are called unsaturated minerals. So taking this as the base, the rocks, oversaturated rocks means they have free silica, means in addition to saturated minerals, in that rock there is free silica, means quartz is also found. They are called oversaturated rocks. And example we can say that is granite and granodiorite. They are oversaturated rocks, means they have quartz as a single mineral. The second category is saturated rocks. They don't have free silica, but it has saturated minerals. Your common example of these rocks are diorites, cyanides, right? And third is the undersaturated rocks. Undersaturated rocks is as good as you can say your ultra basic rocks, means they have less silica, means they have unsaturated minerals, means these minerals that are there, they cannot exist with, or they are not found with the quartz. So they are called the undersaturated rocks. For example, your nepheline cyanide is an undersaturated rocks, right? Similarly, your ultramafic rocks, they are called the undersaturated rocks. Then the third basis of classifying is on the basis of your alumina content, right? Alumina content, on the basis of the chemical composition. You all know that these four oxides, Al2O3, Na2O, K2O and CaO, they are component of your feldspars. So if a rock, the alumina is balanced by K2O, Na2O, CaO, we check this. If a rock is having alumina Al2O3 greater than Al2O3 greater than your Na2O plus K2O plus CaO, means if a rock is having Al2O3 greater than Na2O, K2O plus CaO, that category of rocks will be called paraluminous, right? Now, as far as the examples are concerned, even its granites, they can be paraluminous and the granites can be paralkaline. I will tell you, the paralkaline is the extreme category. The fourth category I am coming to, that means in that Al2O3 is less than Na2O plus K2O. So it is not that the names will be different here, because for example in Rajasthan, in Badmer, the Jalore granites, they are paraluminous, whereas the Sivana granites, they are paralkaline. So we have to check its composition internally and we have to test for Al2O3, Na2O, K2O and CaO, and if you found that Al2O3 is greater than Na2O, K2O, CaO, that rocks are paraluminous. The next category is metaluminous. In that Al2O3 is greater than Na2O plus K2O but less than Na2O plus K2O plus CaO. And the third category is subaluminous, where Al2O3 is almost equivalent to your Na2O plus K2O. And the fourth category, that is your paralkaline, where Al2O3 is less than Na2O plus K2O. In such rocks, what will be that will be reflected in form of mineralogy? We will have soda pyroxene, soda amphibole, right? Alkali amphiboles, names you must be knowing, causserite, orphoedsonite, these are alkali amphiboles. Whereas as far as soda, you can say alkali pyroxenes are concerned, azrine, ekmite. So such will be the nature of your essential minerals in that rock, because the chemical composition will be reflected in minerals, right? So that will be there in that rocks will not have the normal, you can say they will have the sodic or alkalic, your pyroxenes and amphiboles, right? Then the next classification is on basis of the CIPW norm. CIPW is on the basis of 4 American petrologists, Cross, Harding, Pershing and Washington. They've calculated out the normative minerals from the chemical composition of the rocks and divided into two categories, salic and famic. So depending upon salic upon famic ratio, your rocks, they are divided into your 5 categories, right? 5 categories per salic, where salic upon famic ratio is more than 7. Dove salic, the ratio is from 7 to 1.66. Then salfamic 1.66 to 0.60. Then dofamic 0.60 to 0.14. And the last is your perfamic, where salic upon famic ratio is less than 0.14. So this is the CIPW norm classification of igneous rocks. So this is overall the classification taking different parameters. Now I just want to clear one thing. For a geologist, this mineralogical classification is of more use than their chemical composition. Why? Because first, it is a faster. Secondly, in addition to chemical composition, it tells about the cooling history of the rock, right? Under different pressure temperature conditions, from same composition different minerals are formed. But if you are identifying or you are classifying rocks on the basis of the mineral composition, naturally we take into account the chemical composition as well as the cooling history of that rock. It is faster, cheaper, quicker, so that is preferred. Now this is you can say the synopsis of classification of igneous rocks, taking individual parameters of classifying. Now in my next video, we will discuss the different classifications put by different commissions, by different authors, that we will discuss on the next class. For today, this is the synopsis of the classification of igneous rocks. I think it is clear. If you have any doubt or any queries, you can You are having my WhatsApp number. You can send your queries, questions on that number. Thank you very much. Thank you.